Welcome back to the Talkin podcast, brought to you by the folks at Chief of Staff KC, your local trusted talent scouts making connections that matter.
That's right.
Joining us this week is Nate Orr, who's a partner over at Spencer Fane. Nate, hope you're shaping up to have a solid end to your year. How's everything going?
It's been fantastic. Very good year.
Love it. Well, before we jump into things, you got to get the story on your Arrowhead chains.
Loving the chains.
So these are much. I figured since we were talking chop, I'd bring the chains. The chains go out to Arrowhead. It's the only place my wife will let me wear them until today.
There you go.
Right.
I actually got these at the Texas State Fair in 2019. Okay. So I saw a guy walking by with a thing filled with them, and I chased him down. And I asked how much they were, and he said they were 1 for 10 or 2 for 15. I said, I better take 2 then.
There we go. Yeah, they're not cheap feeling either. These things have some weight to them.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him because we had, I don't know if you know Brian Schweitzer or not, but he's got that famous coat and he didn't bring it with him.
Yeah.
So I like it. It.
Yeah.
But what an incredible 48-9 beatdown over the Raiders on Sunday, huh? I mean, you stomp on our logo, we're going to stomp on your throats.
That's
and we're going to stomp on your throats from the first play of the game.
Yep.
I mean, that was just amazing. I can't wait to get into talking about that. The rest of the AFC needs to be on notice. But we have a huge game coming up, divisional game against the Chargers on Thursday Night Football, which is why we're actually putting this out a little bit early this week. But that'll decide the division, honestly, depending on how things shape out here the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
So, huge game. We'll get into that here soon. But first, we're going to bring you our position of the week, brought to you by Chief of Staff KC, your local trusted talent scouts. We're a recruiting firm in Brookside, and we'll find the best accounting and finance, admin, marketing, HR, operations, sales talent that KC has to offer. Lucas, what do we have this week?
Yep. So we're going to focus on financial analysts this week. We have a management level position, so an FP&A manager with a company in the Northland. Hardly ever get any up there, so it will go quickly.
I mean, you talk about Northland positions pretty much.
Well, I'm from the Northland, so I have to, right? We're trying to break into that sector.
Go.
And then we have a not a manager level FP&A role, but a senior financial analyst, part of an FP&A division with a healthcare company, publicly traded company. Would look really good on a resume. They're looking for about 4 to 5 years of experience and some BI tool experience, so business intelligence tools. But those are 2 right now that are moving and grooving, and we're really excited to hopefully fill them before the end of the year and have someone start fresh in January.
And I talked to Lisa today. We have 3 open recruiter positions as well.
Right.
So if you know anyone out there looking for a recruiting position, let us know.
Recruiters recruiting recruiters.
Yeah, there
That's
you
right.
go. It's recruiting inception.
That's right.
But yeah, those are your positions of the week, brought to you by Chief of Staff KC.
Awesome. Nate, appreciate you being here, man. Let's talk some shop. Would love to hear a little bit about your journey with Spencer Fane. Share with the viewers kind of who you are, what you do there, and how you've enjoyed your time with Spencer Fane over the years.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. I've been at the firm for 21 years. I started out, I was a litigator. And when I made partner about 14, 15 years ago, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up, and kind of created a little bit of a funky role for myself. In a nutshell, I really serve in kind of an outside fractional general counsel role. I do quite a bit of business development for the firm, and when we're successful in moving those companies over to the firm, I kind of quarterback the relationship and try to staff things.
Yeah.
Speaking of staffing, try to make sure that we get Hondas where we need them and Lamborghinis where we need them, and just try to make sure everything's working as efficiently and responsive as we can. So it's been really a great role. It enables me to spend a lot of time with the clients, which I like.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any specialties that Spencer Fane primarily focuses on? Any areas or industries or anything like that, or is it pretty general?
No, it's a big full service corporate law firm. So we'd like to say we've got a lot of specialties.
Sure.
Too many to list here, but yeah, if you've got a company or you're a business owner, we're probably a place you might want to check out. So
Excellent. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome. Well, every week we ask a recurring recruiting question. And I don't know if you've ever heard this from Casey, but he calls us the conduits of culture at Chief of Staff.
That's right.
And we find that focusing on culture fit is really vital to making a long-term successful placement with our clients. So from your experience, over the years with Spencer Fane, what do you guys look for when you hire? What do you look for when you're, kind of just managing your internal culture?
Well, we were just talking in the break here. Culture is kind of the main thing for us, and I know that it's sort of platitudinal and it gets kicked around all the time.
Sure.
But having been there for 21 years, we've had tremendous growth. Over those years, we've probably quadrupled or more in size, and a lot of that has been it's been very calculated.
Yeah.
It's little tiny bites because we spend a lot of time dancing with people that we want to bring into the fold before we get married, and
that's right.
and that it really is fueled from top down on culture. It's the kind of place where you can walk into the managing partner's office, no matter who you are, and sit down and talk to them and rap about whatever's on your mind. And so it's been a great place for us to find that growth because a lot of places do lack that special feel.
That's exciting. It's so important in this ever-changing landscape that we're in now. This this culture is the biggest talk, I think, of every client we've ever had, in the last 6, 12 months and even on the candidate side. So it sounds like you guys are doing a heck of a job. Definitely keep it up.
Yeah, you must enjoy your time there. You've been there 21 years.
That's a great testament really to it. I mean, I've had opportunities to go every place else, and I wouldn't do it. It's a fantastic place, and you're right. It's 10x important now, post pandemic.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll walk right into our quick hitter segment. So get ready. We'll do the first down, sack, Hail Mary. First down will be a recent bit of success, personally or professionally, that will ultimately lead to sequential success.
I here's what I'll say. Every time we've got a piece of success for a client, whether that's we just closed a big PE transaction for a client,
Nice.
and that client came to us through a referral from CBiz. Shout out to my friends at CBiz.
Shout out.
And when you can deliver for a client of a referral source, it's just exponentially more powerful, right? Because they're going to remember, they're going to send another client back over, and that closing was big for us and worked out great for the client. So
Nice.
That's great. That's a good first down for sure. What about a sack? And sometimes there's this negative connotation tied to a sack, but it can be something that you quickly overcame or you got back right on your feet. No big deal.
I'll tell you, I think for me, in terms of a sack, and since we're sitting here with the staffing gurus, staffing right now, right? I mean, it's happening for all of our clients. They can't find, talented labor. And we're, with all of our growth and with the tremendous client growth we've had, we're constantly on the lookout for quality, both staff members and attorneys. And, it's been tough, with the growth to make sure we've got the right attorneys to plug into the right things so that we can handle the volume. But, it's also been a fun challenge, and it has enabled us to find quality talent and bring them in. So
Good deal. Lastly, Patrick Mahomes style Hail Mary. What's the next goal for Spencer Fane or for Nate over the next 12 months?
The next goal for Nate is to go to LA to watch the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Actually, the next goal for Nate is to get to Europe with my new wife. We weren't able to go on a honeymoon earlier this year, and so
really?
that'll be fun. I'm excited about that. For Spencer Fane, it's just keep our heads down and keep moving. So
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Love it.
Everyone comes in with a professional goal. I love the personal goals.
It's a good touch.
Nobody cares about my professional goals. Really, nobody cares about my personal goals.
Well, we do here at Talkin' Chop.
It sounds fun. That's damn right.
Well, speaking of Talkin' Chop, I guess we'll transition into
Let's do it.
from Talkin' Chop. But yeah, appreciate all your insight into culture at Spencer Fane and what you do there as well. But I'm excited to talk about this Raiders win.
That's
and
right.
In the spirit of Andy Reid, we give our guests the first take every week. So with that, time's yours.
With that, time's yours.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I mean, what are you going to say? I mean, it's tremendous, right? I mean, you mentioned it at the opening here. Yeah, drive that bus around the stadium a few more times. Come stomp on that logo. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
And I do think that, I think that Spagnuolo defenses, we've seen it happen here now all 3 years. They get better. And I think that I don't know if we're going to see a lot of 48-9 games down the stretch, but I do think that defense seems pretty legitimate.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And as long as this guy here can keep finding out reasons to put a chip on his shoulder.
yeah. Normally I have a bobblehead that Lucas will touch.
That's right.
But I
That's
forgot
right.
it at home. Sorry, guys.
For good luck. All facets, all three phases of the game, we're killing it. The thing that I'm going to take away, I'm going to call this, shout out L'Jarius Sneed. Hope you're doing well, but I think this is the L'Jarius Sneed game. Was it Mike Hughes? Came in, had a career-defining game, forced fumble.
Yep.
Essentially was a part of 3 turnovers, I think.
And the fumble recovery.
And the fumble recovery, the team just rallied around potentially the number one cornerback having a family tragedy, and they came together at the perfect, most opportune time and looked absolutely great doing it. So shout out Snead. I think your teammates balled out for you. The defense looks stellar. The Melvin Ingram playing angry. That makes me happy. That was a heck of a pickup. Shout out Veach. And honestly, I'm just so excited to ride this momentum into Thursday, which we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah, since y'all got the defense covered, I'll talk the offense. That offensive line, I mean, it just time and time again, you just see them just absolutely dominate. Like, I don't know if you saw the clip of Trey Smith spinning back around and just throwing Max Crosby like he's a fourth grader.
And then Wiley gives the stare down.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
beautiful.
those guys, and one of the other things I will say, and not just offense, but across the board, it's really just a plug and play type of team. It just speaks to, Brett Veach's front office, what he always kind of preaches in terms of that depth. Andy Reid's always great about coaching up, the quality. I mean, even Wiley that you mentioned, he wasn't a starter to come out, and he's still, crushing things. And, L'Jarius Sneed being out, potentially Chris Jones being out this week. We don't know, but it's been a plug and play type of year, and the guys have stepped up to the challenge. It wasn't the first couple games weren't the easiest. We clearly took our lumps, but I think you're seeing this team again when kind of scrappy. That experience is going to come in play in the playoffs, obviously, and especially down this home stretch too. We have some really important divisional games coming up. That Bengals game, I mean, they look pretty good this weekend playing the 49ers, even though they didn't pull it out, but. I'm excited for the rest of the year.
It'll be fun. Yeah. What are you thinking for this Thursday, Nate? We'll kind of give you the first take again on this one Thursday night.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Here's the deal. I mean, I don't like a short week headed west. I don't like that much. I do like the revenge game factor. Speaking of Melvin Ingram, I think he's going to show up big. I mean, he's had this game circled, I'm sure, since he came on board. But I think I don't think it's going to be a 48-9 game. I think the Chargers are too talented, but I do think that porous run defense that they've got could serve us well. I bet we're going to see a lot of coverage deep, and I hope the Chiefs are patient and they stick with the plan and take what they're getting underneath. And the Fresh Prince could have a big night.
That's right. Yeah, if we get the Fresh Prince going, and then I'd like to see Gore in there again too, man. He looks good running north-south. But I agree with you. If you get the run game going, hopefully we can keep Justin Herbert off the field. Right. Dude's got a cannon. He's a real deal. So I don't know what the status is on Keenan Allen. I know he was out last week. Their star receiver.
Well, he's back. He should be playing.
I think he'll be back.
Mike Williams is questionable as well, but he should be there too.
And then on our side, Josh Gordon, obviously, he just got put on the list. So it'll be interesting.
Which is disappointing after the game he had.
I know.
He kind of had the breakout game, and then
You see Chris Jones got put on today?
Yeah, so I heard you mention that.
Yeah, so
I
it's
did
Tuesday
not.
as we're recording. We don't really know. It's about like 1:20 here, so we haven't heard many details. But I do know he's vaccinated. He just has to produce, I think, a PCR test, which takes, I think, another 24 hours, and they have to be 48 hours apart. So he might be able to test like right before the game and still play.
Okay.
But he's got to get those negatives coming in. I don't know if it was close contact with Josh or what it was.
Sure.
But around the league, I mean, they had like 37 positive tests yesterday, which is
big number.
Kind of crazy. Everyone, hopefully, we haven't had too much bad luck with it. It's been normally been
there we go.
our opponents
right behind you there.
We got that Aaron Rodgers game too. But I mean, so hopefully we can stay healthy.
Aaron Rodgers and his magic potions.
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean, in terms of this Chargers game, I agree. I think it'll be a running game. Again with our line playing the way we have. I'm honestly impressed by the maturity of Mahomes throughout the season. He came out and was firing, lead the league in touchdowns. And over the last, I think, like 7 games, he only has like 9 touchdowns or something crazy, or maybe 5 games last his 9 touchdowns. But his the stat they were using, his efficiency has gone way up. He's just taking what people give him. He's not being selfish, not trying to score every play like they always did in 2018 to their Super Bowl victory. But it's the maturity of this team. We can beat you in any way that you're coming at us. So I'm excited to see the Chargers in full force. But I think you're right. I think they've not only Melvin Ingram, but the rest of the teams had this circled on their calendar. They knew it's going to be a short week. They knew it's going to be a potential trap game. So I think maybe resting the starters at the end of the last game might have helped.
Smart move.
I think that was a smart move. And and even though we had the four turnovers in the whatever it was the first quarter, the first half of this game was, that was our fault. But I think that these guys feel like embarrassed by that. I think it send them into that spiral in their heads, and,
Yep.
and I think feel like they're back, and
Yeah.
ball protection, running game, and the deep balls were back last week. So
That's right. It's a scary sight. So talk to me about like score predictions. Do you think Chiefs take it, obviously, but what are you thinking? How much?
I do think the
by?
Chiefs win. What's the line? Give me a little cheat here.
We didn't
I
look
don't
that
know.
up.
That's
Tucker,
all right.
do you know?
Let's see if I can pull it up.
I'm going to guess that the line is, oh, you know what? Actually, I think I did see it. I think it's 3.5. Chiefs by 3.5. They're laying
Beautiful.
3.5. So I think they're going to cover that. I
Okay.
do. And they're not a cover team, I know,
That's right.
but I think they're
Wow.
going to cover. And I am going to say 24-17 Chiefs
Ooh,
victory.
I like
don't
that.
think it's going to be super high.
It's
Yeah.
Chiefs -3 right now. I just checked
Okay.
it. So yeah.
Okay, there you go. I like your bet. I think it's going to be one of those. I don't want it to be one of those, but a game that comes down to the wire. Might be a field goal to win it or a final drive to win it. Come down to the witching hour. I don't want it to be like that, but these dang Chargers seem to give us a run for our money when they're here, but we'll still take it. It's going to be a 27-24 Chiefs victory.
All right.
All right, Tucker, what are you thinking, man?
I think we'll go 21-10.
21-10.
Oh, I'd like that.
I love that. Hey, keep
Yeah.
that defense. The points low. I love it.
That's
man.
right.
I think we're the first team in NFL history since 2014 Seahawks to give up, I think, 9 straight points in the last 3 games, and I think that was
Yeah.
the Legion of Boom. Was
Yep,
that
yep.
the same
Yeah,
game?
the Legion
hell
of
of-
Boom.
hell of a stat,
And I don't
yeah.
remember what the stat was, but they just tied the 97 Chiefs in some big stat here over this 6-game win streak, and that's a stout club, that
Yeah, that's
97
right.
defense.
Is that
so,
Marty
yeah.
Ball?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Marty,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was 3 years old at that point, so
We've
got the
seen
knowledge.
clips.
You were
Yeah.
3. I was crying on my bed as like a 22-year-old when they lost to the Broncos in that playoff game.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of my score prediction, I agree with you. I think it is going to be close, and these Thursday night games, you never really know if it's going to be they come out firing or if it's just a dud. So I'm going to go, because I was originally going to say 27-24.
Oh.
I'll go 24-21.
Okay.
I'll keep it a field goal.
There we go.
I think it'll be a push. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this game. We'll see what happens.
That's right.
It's a big one. Yeah.
It is it's the biggest of the year, I think. So any final thoughts? We really appreciate you coming on today. We'd love to hear, any last takeaways.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. We love at Spencer Fane working with you guys, and you got a goofy boss,
right.
but I love him, and it's been nice to get to know
It
you
rubs
guys.
off on us. Yeah,
That's right.
If you can't tell, but I mean that does it for Week 14 of Talkin' Chop, brought to you by Chief of Staff KC. Whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, make sure to tune in to our show every week with some of Kansas City's top execs and personalities. Nate, again, thanks so much for being with us.
Appreciate
it was
it.
a hell of a time chopping it up.
Yep.
We'll catch you guys all next week, and as always,
Go Chiefs.